I've given directive to the clerks at table to take the records for this meeting. And please, we have the standing orders. We know what they say. We'll be taking action to make sure that we compel members to sit or to be considered to have vacated their seats. This matter, I will say no more.
Who are MP? Now say who abstain without any reasons. One family said the dear mamma here who's I and the MP they were selected to all ma. Chamai. Obian Suma said Brabe member of parliament. And it is a ultimate ma. Now the letter by Chess Oma. Yes, sir. Who abstain 1, 2, 3. Or no papa a friend of Alban Badgin no speaker of parliament. Now go point child the parliament to be namano. Obey take that decision now. I make sure I say who akunyano. I bet no.
Throughout this session of parliament, the first meeting, the second meeting, and the third meeting, our friends from the other side, 189 of them, consistently, they do not attend to the house. They do not. Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians, in fact, Mr. Speaker, the NDC side, the majority side, can one form quorum on their own, Mr. Speaker? Can two have enough members of parliament to conduct business? Mr. Speaker, 3, they can have enough members of parliament to take most fundamental decisions, and yet they don't come to parliament.
Ghana parliament ayehu asemeba ente obonsa manfo babelusu omusit adentia. Nina say speaker of parliament Alban Badgin say onje say na say parliamentarians obaba parliament obaba no obi ani ho hwe na nua nkrofo na ka say ebe ya nka yema parliamentarians leave no mutimi nya o home kakra na de bia say de bia omote parliament omoye adwuma mu tupan kwa anomo ba ha emo mutimi hu omabusua omuhu omadofo nom na omo yare na amesi sa eso se mo so yan pese mo ko obi asoma mo monka fie wako 1 time 2 time anya hu na onya se constituency kaja ko but omuso mu nya ko amafo timi ko 30 years 20 years se ne yantu na ontu yi onu ntimi nya ko da afei yanko nanu ye na parliament ko recess about 2-3 months nanu ye no mo ba ye wonu say apart from the very first day mo ba ya almost all parliamentarians about parliament no after they feel over numbers and check kai numbers no so pay any da ope no aso no akọ ase ko bolo akola oni ma dia on sample class ko na was say ne eye mass twa onko owa na do social studies no gidigidi na wawuram ese do english no ko edu integration and grade oba be den ho wo ha na edu aremia ye no aba sa pepe no moye no parliament do dey say go pay Ghana parliament atama mo pe ana mo go parliament na when a speaker of parliament say sebi imprebiasa de muguzu amu ye say ya na mo ye in the 8th parliament me call you for MPC adise pe emre da ho professor Maxi e de ba ye say sa absenteeism ya say de bia we absent ana ma take his decision no say de be anka mo be serious ye take e bio a na mu de amnika akwa court ama get to talk no maami so ye wie na awie ama sa asem ye botu agu o se de ekosu this time around obesa ye bio.
Before usually I commence proceedings, I always take account of those present. I'm not happy with the situation. I did indicate from the very beginning of this meeting that I have the records of attendance for the first meeting and the second meeting. I decided for good reason not to publish them, but to give you the last opportunity. It looks like that is a catastrophic mistake I made. I should have brought it out and referred members to the Privileges Committee. I thought that was not a good way to start this third meeting. It's like that's encouraged members not to be present. I'm saying this for the last time. I've given directive to the clerks at table to take the records for this meeting, and please, we have the standing orders, we know what they say, we'll be taking action to make sure that we compel members to sit or to be considered to have vacated their seats. This matter, I will say no more.
Who are MP? Now say who abstain without any reasons. One family said they be a man here who say and the MP they was select to all ma. Chairman, Obi Ansuma say brabe member of parliament too. And it is a untimi ma. Now ode o letter ba chese o ma. Yes sir. Who abstain 1 2 3. Ono papa e friend Alban Badgin no speaker of parliament. Na go pon charge the parliament the 2 mi na ma no. Obe take that decision no. I make sure say wo akunya no. Ebe no. Unya sa akunya ni bi on by election. Ane ma kwa no constituency am say emo when na we as am go for we o. Ane we ka kire say omo parliamentarians adwuma no ye den na omo sorry and term no omo parliament by 8 na parliamentary proceeding na start sometime omo pon late ni blah blah blah. Enti omo go pass mra say omo the car enama ye mo omo kwan. Say traffic kurati ye mo ntwam say the president mi twam na. Abra ye nim prefer say even another crowd be ban say ministers current me mfa convoy. But afa mo say da bi ye kura ye pe convoy no MP so enye ministers. Tese Ghana for say ehini ha. Na doctor for mo ji amanfo yare. Omo say amanfo yare ji amanfo nkwa. Omo gra no ye mo omo convoy. Ye mo omo chance say o metime twem ni tema mo pe bia. Omo di traffic mu. Na mo. Mo omo timi go parliament tema mo pe. Da mo pe mo nko. Mo okay. Ye mpene so ne ye mpene so kina na ampa amfa. But enay speaker of parliament say be bia duru no. Ade no eya aboro no so eya me no. Into all kind of plane enye plane fa. Una o unim na unim na we parliamentarian obe absenteeism ho bio no dia aka no dia ba no ewo se unya punishment a men kan che ne se na speaker of parliament trubuasi ana afi no be so court o se wa ma warning one last warning.
I understood the people of Ghana to have overly tolerated us in the 8th parliament for good reason. The 8th parliament was a delicate parliament, a hung parliament. As a country, we had an experience before. I've drawn your attention to this when we had the Third Republic. It was also a hung parliament. And so Ghanaians learned a lesson from that and tolerated us. The elections have given us another extreme swing, a populous majority. But whatever we say, because of our other commitments, which most likely take us out of plenary sessions, the message is not accepted by Ghanaians.
Eti obese uluzu sita ana speaker of parliament Alban Badgin na catch and say mono munya ma dwen sem pese mo ba mo contest ma ntoma mo na when na MP before say NDC for na ma am say adan na say mo 87 na say ye die so die go for kakra ma kra pa ye for ko ru manye ye according to parliamentary procedures in just say nipa over 90 member of parliament ebetima for me quorum enti NDC for so omo 189 enti mo do ya amu we sa bebrebe ya amu out of the 276 NDC for nko atimi for quorum edi take any major decision bia omo nko abetima for me quorum am make sure say Ghana decision say omo take no omo take abro omo hia MPP for mpo so omo akra omo ka kire die awe say ye die your number no insignificant. It doesn't matter. Omugurazi micro minority. It's useless. If I so be any so. And your mom we useful no more doors on Ghana for. Munya did you mu 2/3 majority was in the history of Ghana election. ABC da say as one political side anya 2 tests in parliament. Ebi see that. Ghana for say gide na munya ya amode ma this way. Mo we do mo de. Mo we de mo de parliament o mu nsi ho o mo ma ho. O mo ma parliament ba kukura say. Na we ni na no NDC fo ya na yes adwuma yi. Enti mo amoto abama NDC fo ya. O ma MPP nya 87 pay. Mo ja say we say mo MPC o mo pe parliament go to. Am say Kazari he to what way we found the campaign answer. Any MPP so mo lose seat say. Maza moto abama mba mo nko koye adwuma no. Ntino maza mo kan job no mo mrefi. Nti we dey say 2028 mo tuntia because o mo go parliament. Okay o. Nti say no between they don't go to parliament and walk out. And so say it's a very day. Most more walk out, but still I walk out no in farm. And this is for now go parliament. Mati.
Throughout this session of parliament, the first meeting, the second meeting, and the third meeting, our friends from the other side, 189 of them, consistently, they do not attend to the house. They do not. Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians, in fact, Mr. Speaker, the NDC side, the majority side, can one form quorum on their own, Mr. Speaker? Can two have enough members of parliament to conduct business? Mr. Speaker, three, they can have enough members of parliament to take most fundamental decisions, and yet they don't come to parliament. Mr. Speaker, I have in my hand here the order paper for 30th October 2025. And Mr. Speaker, in this order paper, you have very important government businesses listed to be taken today, the 30th October 2020. Government business, so many of them. And Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, let me point out some of them. Mr. Speaker, papers are to be laid. The scholarship scheme of our country, where students, the welfare of students is to be discussed here in this house. Government business. And yet they don't come to parliament. 189 of them, super majority, 2/3 of parliament. They say we are micro minority. Numbers, quantities, Mr. Speaker, and yet they cannot carry government business through. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by submitting. The Ghanaian people killed. The Ghanaian people stood in the sun on December 7th. The Ghanaian people gave them an extraordinary mandate. The Ghanaian people gave them 189 members of parliament because they want President Mohammed's business and agenda to go through this house without any hindrance. And yet, they cannot produce 90 of the 189 of them to form quorum for us to proceed to conduct business in this house. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, this majority, this 189 of them, the quantity, I want to conclude by saying this is an absent super majority, an absent 189 majority.
Almost oko be more parliamentar. Omo ntampe parliament ko pass so for assistance now. Finance minister Kessler to forcing. A friend is a foreign affairs minister Samuel Okuja to Abla say no dey obvious. Very very obvious. Very obvious say nya dey sango for meeting maba parliament because foreign affairs minister over no na Germany sign bilateral agreement. Mahama ko China no di nachi or ko Singapore no di nachi Japan no na mbi we na papa ni na Cote d'Ivoire no na Burkina we that na parliament and the MP before say lie NDC for no moba parliamentar en kabra yebre mama speaker of parliament Abesumani Gbagin we da ni bofu gidigidi en ka we can see.
Yesterday the speaker had cause to point out the disturbing trend or situation of absenteeism in parliament when the business of parliament is being conducted. Today, we came to parliament and on a count, there were only 81 members of parliament in the chamber. And therefore, the deputy minority chief whip raised the issue of quorum pursuant to Article 102 of our national constitution. And indeed, the Deputy Chief Whip made the point that we did not have quorum at the time the business of the House had commenced. The Speaker went through the process, and we've called this press conference to point out that the Ghanaian people went through a lot to elect us as members of Parliament. So generally speaking, all of us are expected to take our duties as members of Parliament seriously. And secondly, and in particular, for the first time in the Fourth Republican dispensation, in the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they elected a supermajority for this 9th Parliament. The NDC majority, the NDC group in this House, constitutes 189 out of the 276 members of Parliament. That is a supermajority, and that is 2/3 of all the members of Parliament, all the 276 members of Parliament. This is unprecedented. It's never happened before in the Fourth Republican dispensation. Indeed, it's never even happened in the whole history of our country. And one will expect that out of this 189 of them, even if 99 of them were to stay at home, they will still have the 90 members of Parliament required to form a quorum to do business. And indeed, as I pointed out on the floor of Parliament, they have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to do business. They have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to take decisions. They have the numbers by themselves to form a quorum to even take fundamental decisions, which requires 2/3 of all members of Parliament. And as one of them once said, they can run this 9th Parliament without the minority. And therefore, the question that many Ghanaians are asking, why are they not attending to the House? Why are they not taking their business as members of Parliament seriously? And why are they not showing up? And why is this majority turning out to be an absentee majority? And this is why we think we should communicate to the Ghanaian people who elected these 189 members of Parliament, who gave them the supermajority and 2/3, to know that we, the minority in this House, are very prepared, ready, and willing to help them conduct government business.
Eddie, some Parliament is sitting na so because parliamentarians na ama omandru nanti no much me Eddie aye a friend is saying omo for me quorum. I started the debate on the floor of Parliament. Omandru nanti out of 276 members of Parliament, without any reason or justification, Ghana, every constituency, the 276 constituencies now Ghana and a small. And your mom pay them go, it's not your private business. And Ghana for now small in their interest, in every constituency interest. Oman Parliament, Oman my reason, into Omama, into Oman Runenti, into the Alban Badgin, the Speaker of Parliament, and the parliamentary proceedings. Now, I want to really know who's that now we are now for a making a conversation. This should be part of the friend saying constitutional review amendment. Any council will be a minister or a member of Parliament. I don't see the sense in it because by and by always you fail one. You can't serve two masters at the same time. How? For instance, right? At a forcing or MPO or a member of Parliament or a finance minister. Look at how draining our finance minister na Juma no kwa aye. Now we are the Minister of Defense as the same person who traveling here and there. Now you no go Spain or go a debt restructuring. Now that romanti yaka yede so significantly in the never mo bubushwe na krasa be boom. Na nice one. Now that Roma and then see appreciate more. Thank you. The me busa the constituency for onya time call. Onye time ko say you follow the constitution no na campaign pa every member of Parliament be back no or be town hall meeting I share various stakeholders in the constituency no more George abobo nyema ekoso a constituency ni here we are sure say nka atofo benya time e dey aba okuja to black obenya time e dey akọ ni constituency now me akwache o matres in trouble I think they want to start it say almost all MPs are started. Nice gesture. But how often? I know better in the bedroom, now you are serving better as a minister. But not as a member of parliament, you are serving poor. You don't have to about you. You are true about you. And for this argument, they say, look, if you are a member of parliament, no ministerial appointment. If you are a minister, you don't have any business to do as a member of parliament. In the making sure a ministerial position only goes for people who are not in parliament as member of parliament. Yes, sir. A parliamentarian is a parliamentarian serving in parliament. Asa, that's your job, asa. And quite parliamentarian be chief executive officer. Look, the entire party now. And the same few people now who contest my two abamomo as member of parliament. Omungo na go school. Everyone in there, for instance, MPP time. Now, Alexander Fenyo Markets, ECG boss. As member of parliament. Already, as a member of parliament in Nkwan, very tedious. Again, was our private business as a lawyer. I was here on private business, no. Our other several businesses are all running. Now, was our in the state. ECG board chairman. Can you correct? Ajuma Papa Ben or Babe. Ajuma Papa Ben and Obabe. Entrum go through her. The only focus is the Scadian because it's Scadian and you are appointing so uncle. You are appointing so uncle because Ajuma no go there. Neshka is a too tight. Say obeti money in a way as a baby, Sadumana. And then political appointees are your mom board chairman, friends and CEO. Already a member of parliament that. For instance, who the Kokobo CEO, Edema Dr. Randy Abia. He's not a member of parliament and network quitting radio. Over all the time in the world plus ni Pando out of line or better and asa. Oh yeah, none the blast management committee chairman ya oye. Asa. I now feel that every single day so up your parliament. At the same time, I was looking at the other business as I government appointment. Abba. Some you may see as a son, and yes, sir. You have a man for Luzo Musi to a parliament to us because where are even speaker came? Almost the next day. The next parliamentary proceedings, Ubers who not have back. Yeah, majority side in parliament. Yeah, minority side in parliament. Yeah, yes, and next day, must repeat. But for quorum because and and this thing has been happening, you know, from Professor Marquay. Nana Danko for in the first 4 years, you know, it was happening. And the second 4 years now, 8 years, you know. And Professor Marquay, Nibufu ya take his decision and the parliamentary proceedings at that. And one be a man, Papa, a friend of Alban Badgin, so the same thing. So meaning that it happens all the time. And today, in 2025, under John Dramani Mahama, our parliamentarians are still missing parliament. Most of them must say mono benefits be obvious be a famamo. If it's a mona muye juma Ghana ni be any be. Meanwhile, you go to work when you want. Say me a teacher ni, me a nurse ni, me a doctor ni. Ana man kwa juma, man mo biya manye. Ana majuma jaman kunti. Asemisi ya. Enka parliamentarians ma kwatena parliament mun kwa na munum nyansa. Aka discuss this here. Come on, discuss this here. But any new. Say parliament no munsi wo munko. Na empty seat sa. Ya pon parliament na man nya hwe ne. Aso Ghana for your taxpayers money ya na yedi twa mukayo. And one e mamu titikasa akese mu V8 ne honko na ba ezu e petrol na atwe 1 gallon no. Ye ni aso mama honko no. Yo, ye mama ti ase se enya munko na mo tase mu visa mu ti ahotom mo ye na ye ntwan se se ye ntwan ma 4 years nso ase ni amoma sole o. O ye bono na na ye ka kire ba ko. And o ye duru bi ni empa e na echobo ehe na demu ya sha se demu 8 yawo. Yen for giving me yes one Ghana has here view. Ghana you be papa de na dia. For God and country, Ghana will do well. For comment to comment section I say, O MP kai he so otako parliamenta, on tanko parliamenta. Shall say a campaign tiano. I am entum tiano because ultimate ko parliamenta ni ko ase over parliament. And now wondering I say for to comment section I say we are subscribe, like, share, ma unya so enya bi enwe. Edino Eye back up Maxi Billian. Our naked truth on Oldboga trends. Macro. Bye bye.